So, Kenny, I asked this before we got on air here, but how much sleep have you had since being introduced as the head coach at Arizona State?
I've taken about 3 2-hour naps. But I have an 8-month-old at home, so I've been prepared for this. It was almost like a class in how to not sleep. So I'm ready to roll.
All right, so you've taken the job there. There's a lot of obstacles and things you've got to deal with there. So when you took the job, I mean this is a dream job for you, I'm sure. You grew up there in the Valley. This is a job that I'm sure you're probably thinking, maybe I'll get that when I'm 45 or 50 years old, let alone you're the youngest Power 5 head coach at the age of 32 right now. Has that sunk in yet?
To be honest, no, because I've just been rolling and going. I've always been the youngest. Everywhere I've been, there's always been some story of the youngest, right? So I'm just kind of used to that by now. It's just every job I've taken, I've been the youngest at something. I don't know why. Probably because I was so unathletic. I started coaching at 17 that I get tabbed as the youngest. So
you take over a program that, we have to be honest, like there are potentially some obstacles coming up with NCAA from the previous coaching staff. How are you preparing yourself here for these next couple of years when you look at just all the things that are outside of your control?
Yeah, I mean, we've got a good plan from an administration standpoint. And, one of the pillars of our program is about life, little things, and intensity, family, education. We want to be lifers. We want to be able to respond to adversity, and we want to be able to be successful in life. And the last piece, success, we define as just being the very best you can be at whatever you're doing. And to me, that's what I'm focused on. I can't worry about things outside my control. What I want to do is be the very best I can be today. Give the very best. I'm on with an interview right now. I want people to see this interview and say, man, I want to play for that guy, right? Because that's all I can control.
So as we talk right now, it's first day you guys can kind of hit the road recruiting. One, I know you're amped up about that, but two, what are your needs? What is your approach on the recruiting trail right now when it just comes to the high school circuit?
I think for us, it's start to build relationships, which is simple. Obviously, we don't have a big staff right now, so we're staying more local. We're hitting Arizona hard right now. But I want to make sure people understand this. I'm from Arizona. Our staff's going to have Arizona roots, right? And we're going to recruit Arizona hard. But when a kid gets on our roster, we're going to have a roster from all over the country. The best player's going to play. I've had people already hit me up. Well, you're an Arizona guy. Is my kid from California going to have? Yes, I love this place. We're going to play the best players. But what am I going to do? I am going to bring in more guys from Arizona because I think there's more guys deserving to be here and to be a Sun Devil. But this is going to be a roster filled with guys across the country. We're just going to have an emphasis on keeping more guys home.
Transfer portal, what's your approach with that this year? We're seeing the new transfer portal window go into effect here. It's going to be crazy. Like, how many guys do you think you might have to end up getting out of the transfer portal this year?
I think it's hard for me to tell how many guys until after spring ball. I think the two windows of the transfer portal, I think the window for us now is where do we know there's immediate needs or how many scholarships do we have to get that done. But the one after spring ball, and that's what is the big one for me, because that's where your guys will know, is this a system I want to be in on your current team? And that's what I told our guys and on our team is give me 4 months, 5 months, right, to show you this is where you want to be. Just give me 4 to 5 months. And then if you don't like it here, transfer. Because at the end of the day, this is my dream job. I walk into this building passionate. If you don't walk into this building with passion, there's a ton of kids who will walk through this door to live in paradise, right, in December and be happy and work that are going to play on Sundays.
Well, obviously you're very passionate and you have worked with some amazing coaches and some amazing quarterbacks. I want to just take me back to this past season at Oregon. I covered Bo Nix for a while at Auburn. You obviously coached him there for a year. I knew he was a good quarterback, kind of in some bad situations at times, but I did not expect to see him put up the type of numbers he did this year. Was that even surprising to you, or did you see this coming? What was it like there this 2022 season at Oregon?
I mean, I always knew Bo was special from the first time I met him. Bo is extremely smart, and he's extremely talented, and he is a perfectionist. And I think the challenge with Bo was he wanted to be in control because he's so smart. And I think that's one thing this system provides. If you're a smart quarterback who wants to learn ball and you control your own destiny, this is the system you want to play in, because Bo's out there checking 25% of our plays. He's changing outside zone to half roll shots from empty and completing them. And I think that's what really makes a quarterback is the confidence that when they take the snap, they believe in the play. And I think that's something he had this year is he didn't take a snap, very few snaps, a few times where I just wasn't a good football coach and I didn't give him an answer. That's on me, not him, where he took a snap and he didn't feel ultimate confidence that this play is going to be successful. And I think that was the biggest difference for him. And I mean, if you look at this system as a whole, Jordan Travis at Florida State, same system. This system's built for quarterbacks. Those are two of, I think, the top 7 most efficient quarterbacks in the country. And now look at Jordan, who went from somebody people thought couldn't throw to now people think is one of the best quarterbacks in the country. Because if you're smart, if you're passionate, and if you want to be in control, this is a system you want to be in.
You're known as a quarterback developer, and even going back to your Memphis days, even before you were quote unquote an on-field coach, so to speak. Tell me a little bit about how you were molded as an offensive guy, because I'm sure not a lot of people know this, but you were a linebacker in high school. You're a defensive guy. So how did you get involved with offense, and what has it been like, I guess, maybe like the last 8-9 years and coming up through college football?
Well, I mean, for me, I learned football through defense. One of the guys who really impacted me was a guy named Conrad Hamilton. He is actually the head coach at Desert Mountain High School. I actually go see him today. Play NFL vet, one of the smartest people I've ever been around. And learning run fits, learning run keys, learning what a defense looks at from the opposite side of the ball and how they coach it allows me to go to the quarterback and say, listen, this is what they're coaching. So let's coach you how they coach their safeties. Let's coach you how they coach their defensive end. How if he goes from a head up with the tight end, a 7 technique or a 6 technique, depending on the system you're in, and he reduces to a 5, the odds of blitz coming behind him increase. What do we like versus blitz now? Check us. And I think that's where my background really has helped me with the quarterback is I teach them defense. I teach them defense. And if they know defense, they know the weaknesses of the defense. And I think that's what I'm the most fired up with about a head coach. Normally I have to go on the road recruiting in the spring. I get to be in the building. And if kids want to come up and talk ball voluntarily, and if quarterbacks want to come up and learn, I get another 2.5 months with these guys just to pour in, teach.
I know it's obviously very early there, and you still got to figure out your roster and all that, but what can we expect when, say, for example, you guys get out there in spring ball at that offense? You got to figure out what you've got, but what's it going to be like when you get out there in spring ball?
It's going to be a pro-style offense that plays fast, so we're going to be able to have the quarterback check us into bad looks, but we're also going to mix in tempo. I firmly believe you want to keep the defenses off balance. We're going to take shots. Like, we're going to throw that thing deep. I mean, what does Bruce Arians say? No risk it, no biscuit, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I grew up watching him, and I firmly believe in it. If you want to score, you have to throw the ball down the field. You can't play scared. And that's one thing that we are going to do on offense, defense, and special teams. We're going to attack. At times, people are going to hate me. Man, why did he do this? I get it. That's on me. But when a team watches our tape, they're going to know we're coming at them. We're attacking in all assets to the game.
NIL is becoming so important when it comes to just attracting players to schools, and obviously all the rules that surround it and everything. How do you feel about the NIL collectives around Arizona State and what you believe it's capable of achieving here over the next year or two?
Well, just alone, I don't know if anybody watched my press conference. There was a man who stood up and donated $1 million. So that was pretty cool. And I think we've doubled that since already in the last 5 days. That's one thing that is, I'm allowed to go out, and I told our players, I'm allowed to go out and donate my time to help get that collective rocking. I can't donate my money. I wish I could. I can't. right? I can't tell them what to do with it, but I can go out and give my time. And that's my job as a head coach, is to serve our players. So what can I do? I watched the Croatian soccer team play yesterday morning. I went out with a group of people last night, a couple nights ago. I had a lunch the other day. I'm going to pour into this city to pour into these players, because this is the fourth largest metropolitan area in the country. This is a destination to live. What is wrong with coming and living here the rest of your life and building the relationships for the rest of your life somewhere where you want to be? And I think anybody who understands life, which is why the staple of our program, understands it's about relationships. You can come here and build the relationships in a place you want to live forever. And the NFL is going to find you. Let me just tell you that there's no secret. The NFL is not going to certain schools. They're going to find you here. We just have the advantage that we can help you for the rest of your life.
What's your vision for Arizona State within these next 5 years?
My vision is to be a place that attracts the best players in the country, because they know we're going to set them up for the rest of their life. They know this is a place that NFL players come to retire. Well, what if you came here, went and had your NFL career, came back and retired here with all your connections that you already built here? Imagine the businesses you're going to be able to create. Imagine the success you're going to have living where you want to live. Instead of restarting your life when you choose to retire from the NFL and saying, all right, now I want to live blank. This is where people live. Go to Chandler. I swear 50% of the people there are retired professional athletes. Why not build the relationships now as an athlete for what you're going to do the next 50 years? And that's my vision, is people to understand this isn't a decision of what coach put out the most NFL players. Newsflash. If the good players all go to one school, more NFL players are going to go to that school. I'm sorry to break it. It's a revolution. You can put it on the Twitter. It's revolutionary. But if the good players all go to one spot, more good players get drafted. If more good players come here, more players get drafted. Breaking news: Kenny Dillingham, head coach, Arizona State.
Here's the thing. Everybody listens to you. It's hard not to get fired up listening to you, but a lot of people go, oh, he's just a young guy. The real world hasn't smacked him in the face yet. But I know you. A lot of people know you personally. You could be brutally honest with people too, even with your own players. For example, like, a quarterback battle. You're like, listen, right now, today, you're not the guy. And I understand if you want to look in the transfer portal and do all that stuff. Whereas a lot of coaches, I think, they would string them along, through the spring, maybe get them through August or whatever, try to get to the season so you're not hurting your own depth. I guess tell me how you've dealt with your players in the past when it comes to that, and trying to be honest with them, as well as being as excited and energetic as you are.
Pretty simple. I want people who want to be here, like I said earlier. So when a guy walks into my office, I met with every single player on this team. And my first question to him was, do you want to be here? That's it. It wasn't, hey, how can I talk you into staying? It was, do you want to be here? That's it. And if the answer is no, I would ask him why. And if the answer was, I want blank, I say, I can't guarantee anything. But what I can guarantee you is this: with this system, with the history of Arizona State quarterbacks specifically, if you're the starting quarterback at Arizona State, you should play in the National Football League. If you can't win the job at Arizona State, the odds of you playing in the National Football League are probably not very high. So yes, you can transfer, play a year of college, right, and get into the real world. Or you can stay here, compete, and if you win the job, you may achieve your dream. And if you don't win the job, let me help you with the resources we have in this value, set you up for the rest of your life. It's that simple. And it's hard. It's the truth. But at the end of the day, I firmly believe kids nowadays have been told so many lies. They get told what they want to hear. They get, like you said, strung along. I don't want that. I want people to walk into the building and understand it's going to take dirty hard work to get to where we want to go, smile on their face, put in that work. And if we do what we're supposed to do, we're going to have more fun than any team in the country. If you don't do what you're supposed to do, you're probably going to hate me because I'm going to hold you accountable.
My last thing, for people outside the state, what does the Territorial Cup mean to you And what is that rivalry all about?
Oh, it's it's everything. You grow up watching the game. I don't care. Everybody in the Valley is going to watch that game. It doesn't matter if you're a sports fan or not. All sports, every single sport. That's what that cup. I mean, that cup is everything. I had a player walk into my office, and I said, "Talk to me." Just those words. I said, "Are you going to be here?" "Yes." "Talk to me. How are you feeling?" "Well, I want to get the cup back." That was what he told me, and that's what it's about. That's what makes college football special. And that's why if this Valley rallies behind college football, like it did back in the Cush era, if it rallies behind it and it really believes in it, Saturdays can be more fun for the Valley, can be more fun for the businesses in the Valley. We can help each other because college football is different. And I want to bring that back to this city because if this city feels it, if this city, you've been at the Auburn Alabama game, if this city feels that passion of college football and college athletics again, top to bottom, I think we're the largest city with one major institution. That's an advantage.